You ever buy a house thinking you're finally getting a little peace and quiet, only to find out you've just moved into the craziest chapter of your own life? Yeah, that was me. Thought I was trading in 15 years of city detective work for mornings on the porch, sipping coffee, by the lake, maybe a little fishing. Instead, I got Vivian Blackwood, though everyone around here just called her Karen, and let me tell you, she more than earned the nickname. So picture this second morning at my new lakefront place, September sun, barely peeking through the trees. I'm standing out by my fence, just minding my business, when I hear this click-clack of heels on gravel like a warning shot before a battle. She rounds the corner, crisp white blazer portfolio in hand, smile so sharp you'd think she'd practiced it in a mirror for hours. "You must be the new neighbor," she says, offering her hand. "Vivian Blackwood, HOA president." I shake, and she's already scanning the place like she's calculating resale value on my lawn. She starts in about the benefits of joining the HOA, but honestly it sounds less like community spirit and more like a pitch for a suburban cult. "We look out for each other," she says, and the way she says it, I'm pretty sure she means we watch each other. I politely tell her no thanks. I moved here specifically because this house was outside of HOA jurisdiction. Her smile twitches for half a second blink and you miss it. Then she's right back to business, whipping out a measuring tape to check my grass, muttering about property values. That's when I realize this isn't about grass, it's about control. She lists acceptable flower varieties, critiques the shade of my paint, even snaps photos on her phone for records. And then just as I'm thinking maybe this is all harmless busybody stuff, I see her phone wallpaper, a distinguished older man, graying hair, kind eyes. "My late husband Henry," she says, voice a little too smooth. "He drowned in the lake 2 years ago." But something about the story doesn't sit right with me. Maybe it's the cop in me, but her details are just a little too rehearsed. Suddenly she hits me with a weird question, asks if I know anything about the Blackwood case from 2 years back. I play dumb. She shrugs, says it was just a tragic accident. Nobody suspects a thing, and leaves me with an HOA brochure and a parting shot about community cooperation being essential for everyone's well-being. When she walks away, I'm left with this gut feeling that things here aren't even close to normal. Next morning, I'm watering my garden when I hear those heels again, only this time the niceties are gone. "Mr. Webb," she says, "I gave you 24 hours to reconsider my generous offer. Now you'll face the consequences." I tell her calm as can be that I bought this house because it was outside HOA reach and I'm not budging. She drops her voice and straight up threatens me. People who don't meet neighborhood expectations find themselves in unpleasant situations. And then right in front of me, she calls 911, tells the operator there's a suspicious man harassing residents, paints me as some kind of criminal. I can't help but shake my head at the performance, but sure enough, within minutes a squad car rolls up. Officer Jenny Santos steps out, sharp eyes, no-nonsense walk, and listens to Vivian's Oscar-worthy story about how I'm a threat to the neighborhood. Santos asks for my ID, so I flip open my wallet and show her my detective badge. That changes everything. Suddenly, Vivian's all apologies, talking about misunderstandings and community security. Santos quietly tells me Vivian's made a dozen bogus calls like this in the past 6 months, all about people who might know too much about neighborhood business. That's when it clicks. Vivian's not just a meddler, she's hiding something. But here's where it gets wild instead of backing off. Vivian doubles down. Now she's filing complaints about my aggressive landscaping choices, worrying about her Pomeranian's allergies, sending formal violation notices because my car's parked at the wrong angle. She even tries to sue me for harassment and damages, spreading rumors that I'm a disgraced detective forced into retirement. It's psychological warfare, all meant to discredit me before I can figure out what's really going on. And while she's busy playing the petty tyrant, I'm doing what I do best, investigating. A chat with Tank Rodriguez, the plumber who worked at her house before her husband's accident, uncovers a hidden storm. Tank admits he overheard a vicious fight between Vivian and Henry the night before Henry's supposed drowning. She threatened to leave him with nothing. He threatened to expose her lies. Even crazier, Tank's got a video from that night, someone being pushed off the dock, but instead of drowning, swimming away into the dark. The more I dig, the more I realize Vivian's husband might not even be dead. With a few more late-night calls, I confirm the death investigation was rushed. The medical examiner was a friend of Vivian's, and there's no real evidence Henry died. And then jackpot. I hack into the neighborhood smart speaker system. Don't ask how old habits die hard. And catch Vivian plotting with the same doctor who signed the death certificate, worrying that Henry can't stay hidden forever. There it is, insurance fraud may be worse. By now, she's ramped up the insanity complaints about my excessive electricity usage affecting the power grid noise violations for my morning shower, singing all documented with photos, charts, and timestamps. She wants to bury me under paperwork so no one will believe me if I ever accuse her of anything real. It's genius in a twisted way. But she makes a mistake. She underestimates just how stubborn a retired detective can be. With Officer Santos's help, I connect Vivian to 2 other accidental husband deaths in other states, each with fat insurance payouts. And then while combing property records, I find a cabin she bought shortly after Henry's supposed death. I go up there, call out from a safe distance, and hear a man's desperate voice beg me not to tell Vivian he's alive. It's Henry, beaten down but alive, and he's been quietly gathering evidence of everything Vivian's done. Together we hatch a plan. I throw a barbecue neighborhood reconciliation, I call it. Vivian can't resist a chance to parade her victory, and all the neighbors come along with a few off-duty cops. At the party's peak, I announce a special surprise and bring out Henry very much alive. The crowd freezes. Vivian's face drains of color. She starts muttering, then shouting, confessing to her schemes in front of everyone, how she staged the drownings, faked medical records, lined up the insurance scams, killed before, and was ready to do it again. Santos arrests her on the spot, but even in handcuffs, Vivian's yelling about my grass being 3 inches too high. You can't make this up. She's more worried about HOA violations than murder charges. Court is a circus. Vivian's lawyer tries to spin it, claims Henry faked his own death, that I'm just a washed-up detective. But the judge, who's got history with Vivian from past abuse allegations, sees right through it. The evidence, recordings, medical files, Henry's testimony is overwhelming. Vivian gets life without parole for murder, fraud, conspiracy, you name it. Last I heard, she was running an unofficial HOA in the prison yard, filing complaints about the rec area grass and organizing inmates to demand better lawn care. Some folks just never quit. Henry and I, though we built something good out of that mess. Solved cold cases, brought closure to families, and maybe most important, proved that the worst bullies don't always win. Sometimes all it takes is one stubborn neighbor who knows how to dig and refuses to be intimidated. So let me throw it back to you. What would you have done when someone in power tries to shut you up? Do you go along just to keep the peace, or do you dig in and fight for what's right? Even if you're the underdog, I want to hear your stories. Drop a comment. Share your thoughts. Because the more we talk about standing up to bullies, HOA, or otherwise, the less power they have over any of us.